Welcome to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith. Monty is currently living his best second line in New Orleans. And yes, he has been given a list of places to go, and no, none of them are in the French Quarter. Coming up on today's show, we'll bring new challenges to the Wine Thunderdome when we have the team at State Street Deli Wine and Spirits pair wine with an appetizer that we bring to them, and we'll see which of their choices suits it best. And it's Bandcamp Friday along with being Live Music Friday, so we'll have two artists coming in the area to perform on the show today, including Priya Darshini, who brings her blend of classical Indian music with jazz and more to the Academy of Music on Saturday. But right now, we're joined by Afro-Colombian punk trio La Perla. Hailing from Bogota, Colombia, Diana San Miguel, Giovanna Mogollon, and Karen Forero have played together since 2014 and are a one-of-a-kind vocal and drum trio with powerful lyricism, charged lyrics, and a cross-pollinated expression of Latin American genres such as cumbia, puertorriqueña, merengue, gaita, gracias, and more. They are a trio of researchers, singers, and instrumentalists focused on the traditional music heritage of the Colombian Caribbean. In 2015, they won first prize for the Festival de Galletas de Ovejas, a legendary gaita contest festival in Sucre, Colombia, that had never been awarded to a band from Bogota and was being awarded for only the second time to women.
Yeah,
that is crazy,
yeah.
but also awesome. And their album Callejera came out in 2022. Tonight at City Space in East Hampton, they'll be playing a show as part of Secret Planet's series of shows. Opening up for them are some DJs from Peace and Rhythm and Gaia Roots. And we are so lucky to have them in studio right now. Thank you for coming, La Perla.
Thank you so much.
No problem. You want to start with a song?
Yeah.
Fantastic.
Casero, la comadre, venga, se une, usted no está sola. Mafia de familia ganando la partida. Oiga, presidente, colabore con la salida. Nos ha robado tanto que hasta el miedo lo perdimos. A todo su veneno. Nosotras el antídoto. Ya hasta el agua nuestra la tienen hipoteca. La semilla priva y la comida envenenada. Ay, 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 ay. ¿Qué pasa? ¿Qué pasa? Que aquí están matando a muchos. ¿Qué pasa? Lucero, Yamil, Libardo, Ramón, Mari, Carmen, Lucy, Leonel, Salón, Rosalba, que era la vecina de enfrente, también la callaron. País indolente, Guayabo lloró, la muerte llegó, disparo le dio, la sangre corrió. Guayabo lloró, la muerte llegó, disparo le dio, la sangre corrió. La calle está que arde, la gente está caliente, la casa se nos cae, mirémonos de frente. Ya no hay cuerpo que aguante, la gente está caliente, peleando con los dientes. La calle está que arde, ya no hay cuerpo que aguante, la gente está caliente, peleando con los dientes. La calle está que arde, mirémonos de frente, la casa se nos cae, la gente está caliente. Tengo tremendo guayabo.
So good! one thing that's hard about doing this by myself is that I just want to cheer, and usually Monty jumps in and is like, that was La Perla being absolutely awesome in studio, and I have to remember to do that. Oh my gosh, that was so fantastic. After watching videos and hearing that on your album, it's like even better to see it live. So again, we're encouraging you to go see them in East Hampton. What is the music scene like in Bogota?
Oof, it's very rich. It's beautiful. There is a lot of musicians, a lot of researchers that bring the traditional music to the new scene of the music, new Colombians music or nuevas músicas colombianas. There is like a treasure because there is a lot of movement, and the industry is not so big, but the potential that we have and the musicians that we have and the quality of the music that brings that born in Colombia, it's amazing. It's awesome.
That is
really good.
So cool. And the instrumentation that you have here, I've read, and I'm not as well versed as I should be, but you're kind of reclaiming instruments that traditionally get played by men often. It can be seen by the fact that you're only the second group of women to win this award. Is that reclamation kind of part of the belonging that you said this album really means?
It's part of that. Currently, there is more and more women playing this music. In the past, was really weird, really strange, really.
Exist some girls in the Palenque. That is the first Afro town free in Latin America. They play. They have a family called Batata, and she exists a girl named Graciela Salgado, and she played the drum. Really strong, really good, and some girls, but right now exists more and more and more and more.
In the past wasn't very common to see women playing, but some special cases with the dynasty, but no, it was really normal, and now there is a lot and more each time,
Right. Your music seems like a tour through all of South America and like the Caribbean. Is there a style that you feel most comfortable with?
Yeah.
Our influence, we born in Bogota. That's a really cosmopolitan city. We grow up listen to rock, punk, hip hop. I don't know, different styles. So we don't born on the Caribbean coast. So we play these traditional drums from our African heritage in Bogota. So it's really different play this drum in Bogota and play in the Caribbean coast. So that style is really unique, and we aspired to, a lot in the different roots from Latin America, the merengue, the festejo peruano, I don't know, the cumbia in Mexico, la samba.
Yes, we love the great Caribe, but we love too the urban movement, the hip hop, the beatbox, the rap, the urban, the street stuff. Yes. So we need to say that, and we want to mix that and express our concerns in our music.
Yeah, and you definitely do, and I have done this in the way that I usually do, which is go straight to how the music is made because I like hearing about process, but how did you form as a group?
In 2014, Karen had the idea to go to Ovejas Festival, the Gaita Festival. Gaita is a flute, really traditional from our indigenous heritage. So Karen said us, come on girls to play the festival. And the next time in 2015, we won that festival. So was super crazy and really cool to us because the win that prize will be an objective to play more together and start to create our music.
Really, really cool. And again, like your sound is so it's fascinating. It's so cool to get that much sound out of just drums and vocals and flute too, because you do play gaita on
the
several,
show. Yeah.
And then so you're touring, well, not necessarily touring, but you're playing with Son Rompepera, who have been in the area a bunch. Like, what's it like to play on the same bill? Like, you have some similarities to your music because you're both cumbia based.
Yeah.
But like, do you get inspiration from playing alongside somebody who is rooted in what you do but does it differently?
I think that we have very common style because we are like a cumbia but with the punk attitude, but I think that is a casualty.
Yeah, I think it's a casualty.
Yeah, because when we met when we met them, they had a lot of time doing that, and we too was like we make a instantaneous connection, you know.
Yeah.
And we are really close. We are really friends. We have a song together that was released in their album, and we are planning to do more music together, and to play with them is so high, so energy.
Yeah, they are really strong with the percussion and the voices too. So it's cool to mix it up with because I don't know, we will be more strong together.
Yeah.
I have a weird question, having seen them twice. Have you seen a show where they keep their clothes on the whole time?
Never.
No.
I don't think so. It's a lot of physical activity.
Yeah. It's like a gym.
I know.
We should do the same.
I want to do it, really. I want to do it.
understand that, and I'm mad at the rules that say that we can't or that we'll end up in terrible places because of it. Well, La Perla plays in East Hampton tonight at City Space with DJs from Peace and Rhythm opening up, and Gaia Roots. Is going to be a great time. Doors open at 7. Let's hear one more song to get their appetites wet.
Yeah, of course.
Fantastic.
Let's play Bruja. Please come to
Come
dance
tonight. Come tonight.
Allá la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, tumba, tumba. Por todo lo que sabía. La querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, 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 tumba. Porque hacía lo que quería. La querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, la querían bajar, tumba, 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 tumba. ¡Hey! Porque salía de noche por cómo se vestía, porque fumaba hierba y a nadie obedecía, porque tomaba trago, bailaba todo el día, por puta, por monja, por fea, bandida. Mamá, a mí me decían la bruja. Mamá, a mí me decían la bruja. Mamá, a mí me decían la bruja. No la batumba, no la batumba. Mamá, a mí me decían no la batumba, no la batumba. Mamá, a mí me decían no la batumba, no la batumba. Mamá, a mí me decían no la batumba, no la batumba. Mamá, a mí me decían no la batumba, no la batumba. Mamá, a mí me decían no la batumba, no la batumba. Porque salía de noche por cómo se vestía, porque fumaba hierba y a nadie obedecía, porque tomaba trago, bailaba todo el día, por puta, por monja, por fea, bandida. Me venían diciendo bruja, me quieren quemar, bruja, ya no tengo miedo, bruja, me quité el disfraz, bruja, yo hago lo que quiero, bruja, no me voy a callar, bruja, muero en el intento, yo sé me escuchar, bruja. Y no borrajas de mis ojos de ruda pluma de cristal, hierba cartera, cardo bendito, cuarzo puñado de sal. Santa María, soy una pecadora, ¿será que me podré salvar? Por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa, por mi culpa. Me venían diciendo, bruja, me quieren quemar, bruja, ya no tengo miedo, bruja, me quité el disfraz, bruja, yo hago lo que quiero,
are taking the stage at City Space at 7. La Bruja, perfect song for this time of year. Have to call attention to your absolutely fantastic shirt, Giovanna. But thank you to Karen and Diana and Giovanna for coming in before they take the stage at East Hampton. You can also find their album, Calladera, on Bandcamp. Go get it. It's Bandcamp Friday. Go support them and go out and dance in East Hampton this afternoon.
Come tonight.
Dance.
Yes. The whole thing starts at 7. You can get their album on Bandcamp. Later in the show, more music when Priya Darshini joins us. But up next, we head to State Street Deli Wine and Spirits for a Thunderdome where we make the folks there pair wine with food I made from a dream that I had. No, that is not hyperbole. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM.
Khalees, you're getting all chefy.
Yes, sorry.
My initial question was about what we're trying to pair with today, and I wondered if you guys were just deliberately trying to come up with something really difficult. But it turns out that you're actually planning on serving this for Thanksgiving.
I'm probably going to be serving this for Thanksgiving.
So this is actually really great because you might want to have some wine to go with it.
The challenge today in the Wine Thunderdome. Before we go down deep below State Street Fruit Store, Deli Wines and Spirits in Northampton, we are at the tasting counter where Khalees is getting all chefy. We had mentioned the last time we were here, wouldn't it be fun if we surprised you with some dish, like a customer might come and do and say, I'm making this for Thanksgiving, what wine pairs with it? And so that is the challenge that we've got today. And Khalees, while you get all chefy and dress this up, tell us what it is that you've created.
So
You are pouring regatta cheese out of a plastic bag.
Looks like regatta cheese in a plastic bag, if you know what I'm saying.
it's a dip. I am always on the look for like appetizer-y things because Thanksgiving's never ready on time. This is ricotta spread with preserved lemon and mint, honey nut squash that's been cooked in caramel on top of it with a little berbera. But I had problems with my berbera this morning.
I'm my own Berbera because I don't have hair.
It's like,
Does that
you know
require,
what the
does
fun
that require a doctor? I don't know.
The real fun is discovering you don't have fenugreek in your house at 8 o'clock in the morning when you're making berbera from scratch.
Now you're just making words up.
I am not making up
What
words
is
from
fenugreek?
scratch. Fenugreek is a spice that you find a lot in Middle Eastern food and in India, like Northern Africa. It
And what's
looks like a
berbera?
little bean. Berbera is an Ethiopian spice mix. I just wanted to do something cool, and it seemed like this would be cool, and also I kind of low-key had a dream about it. Anyway, I have dreams about food, and then I go out and make it.
We get customers all the time that do this to us, that they come in and they say, this is what I'm making, what would you suggest? And so we'll ask very specific questions, especially when it's things we don't know. So berbera is a very specific set of spices, from what I understand now. And so you start looking at all those spices. So the next question for Khalees would be, well, how spicy is it actually?
Not very. It's not like harissa. That's specifically using hot peppers. Berbera is more flavor-based. It's pretty much in between like curry, garam masala, in that vein of things. Not spicy. It's got pepper flavor, but not.
So like a really balanced spice that isn't meant to build a fire in your stomach.
Yes.
No, but it's not spicy either.
Well,
From
like-
people that are not used to eating spice, they might think it is spicy.
I mean, I
Those are
guess.
a bunch of babies.
Yeah,
right.
they are babies. They're babies.
Don't be afraid of spicy foods, folks.
Well, yeah,
Spice,
I mean-
it is spice is the
I mean,
spice of life.
you went off, you got ships, you colonized all these lands looking for spices, and now you're not going to use them?
That's so true.
Let's grab our wine. We'll pause here and we'll go downstairs.
Yeah. Into the wine bunker, deep below State Street Fruit Store, Deli Wines and Spirits for the Wine Thunderdome. That customer had a shirt on that said a film by Nora Ephron, and that's a cool shirt. Welcome to Northampton. All right, we are officially in the wine bunker, birthplace of the Wine Thunderdome. 2 wines enter, 1 wine leaves.
Still the place where I think it evolves the fastest.
Yeah.
Or devolves.
It's the incubator. It's the petri dish of all the ideas.
Yes.
And food has been introduced many times here, but this is Khalees' food. What is the name of this recipe? Does it have a name?
No, I was just trying to come up with canapes. A ricotta spread with preserved lemon and mint and honey nut squash caramelized with berbera spice.
And you dreamed this recipe up?
I had a dream about this, yes.
I want a cookbook of Khalees's dreams.
Yeah, my dreams are like anxiety dreams. Like
Mine
I'm still
too.
back in high school. Like, why do my clothes keep falling off? I hate this or whatever.
I had a dream that I was impersonating Ralph from The Muppet Show, singing "Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas"
Dream.
at the counter of the new record store on Avenue A in Turners Falls, and I started to cry in front of the guy who owns the record store about how beautiful this is and how much he sounds like Tom Waits.
Have yourself a merry little Christmas.
Real dream.
I want that dream. My dreams suck.
Yeah, I have dreams about food and then I go out and try to make it.
2 wines.
Yeah.
Did each of you pick 1 wine each? So are we really pitting the Wine Sun from State Street versus the Yankee Sippa from State Street, or was this a corporate decision on 2 wines?
I think it was a corporate decision. We
Too bad.
That's a great show for next time.
Yeah. What was the decision on the 2 wines to pair with Khalees's canapes? Khalees's dream canapes!
Yeah, I'm not going to call it that at Thanksgiving.
So this is a common argument we have amongst ourselves about like spicy food, say. Do you go with red wine that shows some spiciness itself, or do you go with white wine that shows some sweetness or maybe some acidity to take away, you know, the fattiness or the spiciness of the food? We both pretty quickly agreed on white wine. One of them is a wine nobody's ever heard of, and one of them is a wine that everybody tries to tell us they don't like.
So,
Classic.
what is the wine nobody has ever heard of?
It's Punta Crena. It's Matasso is how you pronounce it, I believe. Colline Savanesi. So this is a Ligurian wine. So Liguria is in the coast of Italy. If you live in Torino or Milan, you're like, I want to go to the beach. You drive like an hour and a half south, and you are in Liguria.
Which is the home of the liger.
What's a liger?
It's pretty much my favorite animal. It's like a lion and a tiger mixed. Bred for its skills and magic.
So Matasso is the grape. This is a really interesting wine. Again, no one has probably ever had this wine unless you live in Liguria.
Or if you shop at State Street.
Yes,
Right.
if you shop at State Street, and we try to tell you, drink this, put that Pinot Grigio down, and try something new.
My sister-in-law texted me last week and was like, my friend loves wine. What type of Pinot Grigio should I get? And I was like, no type.
You should write, your friend does not love
I
wine.
said, find a Gavi de Gavi and tell them that they should up their game. What is the second wine that everybody knows but thinks that they don't like?
It is a late harvest Riesling, specifically an Auslese, which I know you know how to climb the ladder, Monty. Go ahead.
Auslese. Baron Auslese. Trocken Baron Auslese. Well, first it's Tafel wine. Cabernet.
There it is.
Auslese.
Oh, you're skipping one between Cabernet
Yep.
and Auslese.
Cabernet.
Spät.
Spätlese,
Auslese.
Auslese, Baron Auslese, Trocken Baron Auslese.
Auslese.
I've never had a Trocken Baron Auslese.
That's because it would cost a mortgage.
Which one are we having again? Auslese?
Auslese Riesling, yes.
So it's like level 2 on the sweetness scale.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
the idea with the late harvest Rieslings is the botrytis or noble rot starts to take place on the vine.
It's my band name.
Noble rot.
Yeah.
Excellent!
So as you move further and further into October, the level of ripening or rot on the vine gets higher and higher. So the later that you harvest, you have more sugars already been converted, so it gets more and more concentrated. So the residual sugar gets higher, but also the acidity gets higher. So this is actually a much more balanced wine than people are willing
And
to
they also tend to
give
be
it
a little
credit
bit
for.
lower in alcohol.
Yeah.
Because the sugar has already been converted. So
Sweet wine can be gross, but if sweet wine plus acidity, like in most good Rieslings, happens, it is the greatest wine
it's
experience.
like most things. You need to have balance. You know, no one wants a sugar bomb and no one wants an acid bomb. Pinot Grigio. Anyway, so that's why we have some other stuff going on here.
Should we start with the food? That's the real question.
Put the food in. Put the food in the mouth. Put the food in the mouth hole. Smell and taste. I love the smell of this wine. Funky lemon.
Golden straw in a glass.
There's a little bit of a cider quality to this.
Yep, for sure. I just said that like Janice from the Muppet Show.
For sure, man.
For sure, man. For sure. For sure. For sure. For sure. Did you see Mayhem, the new Muppet TV show? It's actually really good.
Okay, that works a little better.
Consuming Khalees's dream canapé.
There are some solid flavors going on with this. This is really good, Khalees. And I like that the bread that you made is hard. It's still like a hard cracker, so it holds up to the moisture. Yes, I said moisture.
So moist.
It's so moist. No, like that word I don't like. I can handle moisture.
Moisture is fine.
Yeah. The sweetness of this and the salinity and the sort of cider quality of this one are working really well together.
I think the canapé makes the wine less lemon forward.
Yes.
It brings the fruitiness of the lemon down a little bit and almost the bitterness of the lemon out a little bit more.
I really like the way these are going together, and it's not for the reasons I expected to. I expected to have more spice here and less fruit here, but the salinity that I had forgotten about from the wine is actually really matching up really well with the canapé.
And you were worried about too much salt in the canapé.
Yeah, just because I had a little accident with the preserved lemon brine when I was making it. Things happen in the kitchen sometimes.
I'm opening the second wine because I want a second canapé.
Yeah, Khalees made plenty.
I made enough.
These are really good.
Yeah, they are
Yeah,
very,
they're
very
super
good. This is going to be a hit at Thanksgiving.
I hope so.
One thing about Riesling, especially the higher up that German ladder you go, is the more expensive they usually become. And the smaller the bottles are if we want to keep them more expensive. So this is a half bottle that we're drinking this from right now.
That's right. This is a half bottle, but actually still very reasonably priced. This is from Gunther Steinmetz, and it is the Kastener Pollensberg Riesling Auslese.
Also, side note, black winemaker.
Oh.
Nice! Gunther, I believe, is the husband, and his wife is a black woman.
I don't even...
super grapefruity on the nose, and I love that.
I don't even want to drink it because it's got my favorite Riesling thing.
It smells like diesel.
Diesel.
Get to the chopper!
You think that you don't like the smell of diesel in your glass, but remember when you were a kid and
Yeah.
you were in the backseat of the car and somebody was pumping gas and you could smell it? Brings me back.
My grandfather's smoking a cigarette while he's pumping gas.
No seatbelts and
no
like
seatbelt.
3 seats in a row.
What kind of world is it where 3 models can't have a gas fight?
Isn't there a blue steel Riesling? There's some steel Riesling.
One look!
Hansel. So hot right now. Hansel.
I just took a sip of this Riesling and the song This Magic Moment came into my head. I started to move my hips in a circular fashion.
Oh.
That's always a good sign with a wine.
Oh.
You know what is amazing? Usually there's a line, like a delineation point, where you're like, oh, I'm tasting the food. Now I'm tasting the wine. It morphs into each other.
That is the best pairing that you can ever hope for. 2 separate tastes, 2 separate times, and then when they join in your mouth, they become a third separate thing all of itself. I can't wait to try it. I just took a bite of the canapé.
Wow.
Oh, I got a chill throughout my whole body. This magic moment.
So different and so new.
I'm now angry that this is only a half bottle.
Wow.
Yeah.
I can't believe how well those are together.
I don't think we even need to vote.
But here's the thing, but again, like when people talk about Riesling, I don't like sweet wine. Nah. I'm in between the indeterminate female voice of people who tell me they don't like things.
We'll call her Karen.
Oh, I don't like sweet wines. Yes, you do, Karen. You like sweet wines. You've just never had a good one. I'm sorry if Barbara at Book Club is making you drink the Yellowtail Moscato. Not my fault. Let's get you into something a little bit more palatable and sophisticated, which also doesn't have to cost a lot of money. The classic pairing is always sushi or Indian food, but there's a reason for that.
There's a Riesling for that.
There's a Riesling for that. But like even people get takeout from next door.
The India House.
The India House, which is wonderful, and they come over and like, what should I have with this? And there's like so many options. And so like if you have something like really good spicy curry, and some of these flavors are similar to curry, definitely. Yeah. You know, it just works so well. So don't be afraid of like you don't dislike sweet wines. You just haven't had one that's gonna work with you.
I let the sugar burn a little bit because I wanted a little bit of that bitterness, and like the sweetness of this just like it ends up becoming like incredibly clear. Like it doesn't double down. Like it really blends so well.
That's the reason why you often put salt in caramel too. You know, so it brings out that flavor. And I think that I love this Italian wine, and I know like we're supposed to vote, but I don't know if there's much of hope for that Italian wine right now in my world.
It goes very well, but like
I vote that Khalees now has to make all the food for our upcoming. You have time for that, right?
I make time. Cooking is genuinely like meditation for me.
Yeah.
So
Cooking to me is a disaster.
Yeah.
So.
I love coming home after work and cooking. It's like my favorite thing to do. It's my decompression time. I do put on NEPM, just so you know. It's true,
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug.
Shameless plug. But I do. I come home, I pour myself a glass of wine, I turn on the news so I can deal with the news, and then I start cooking. It's like, it's my hour to myself. I think it's super important that people do that.
Well, now you can make these canapes,
I might, but I definitely won't make them this good. I mean, this is delicious.
and now you know what to pair with it. Not even a vote. That's a unanimous acclamation.
Hang on.
Like whoever, like the same way the new Speaker of the House is going to be acclaimed. Everyone's going to agree.
Not even close.
Yeah. Beyonce's the new Speaker of the House.
You know what? I would vote for her at this point.
Honestly, like she might do a better job than anybody who's been there so far.
I hate to give the Matuoso such short shrift, but
it's a great wine.
It's a great wine.
Doesn't
undo itself.
Yes. For our purposes in a Thunderdome today,
wow.
the Riesling in the half bottle, which is once again called
Gunther Steinmetz.
It's an incredible wine on its own, and is the perfect pairing with it.
It is perfect.
These wines are both winners, but with Khalees's dreamy canapes.
The parameters that we set for ourselves in today's Thunderdome, clearly the Riesling is the winner.
Riesling just, it's like,
Nice job, Wine Son. Nailed it.
Yay! We're all winners.
Yeah.
We're in Northampton.
Thanks for taste testing my Thanksgiving dish. I appreciate the feedback. We don't need another. Jesus, Monty, why'd you put that in there? Coming up, more live music Friday with the genre-blending sounds of Priya Darshini, who'll make an appearance at the Academy of Music at 8 o'clock this Saturday. You're listening to the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith. It's Live Music Friday here on the show, and we've got a double dose today for Bandcamp Friday. Right now, in studio with me is Priya Darshini and an ensemble, which is wicked cool. Taking her roots from Indian classical music, Priya's knowledge of music from all over the world has resulted in a fresh, imaginative, and fascinating new sound. Based out of Brooklyn, New York, Priya has sung for over 100 television and radio commercials, as well as recorded for several award-winning and chart-toppling movie soundtracks. She's also an actor, an ultramarathoner, an entrepreneur, an environmental advocate, and a lot of other really awesome things. Her unconventional compositions, ability to fluidly move between several musical styles, combined with a deeply present and unfettered performance energy, makes for a powerful listening experience, and have now become a part of her very distinct musical identity. She's played with a giant pile of people, including Pearl Jam, Roy, Futureman Wooten, the Silk Road Ensemble members, and more. Her debut solo album Periphery came out in 2020 and was nominated for Best New Age Album in the Grammys. She'll be performing on Saturday in Northampton at the Academy of Music, where local hero Kimaya Diggs will open. Right now, she's here in studio, joined by Max ZT, Patrick Duke, and Dave Egger. You ready for a song?
Yeah.
I'm ready for a song. I don't know why I'm asking. Hopefully, you're also ready for a song and you were prepared for that. Well, then let's hear one.
All right.
Once again I find myself so much farther than I may have wanted to go. Here I found dreams that I never knew that I could have, oh, that I could be. I am here, do you see me? Will I always be on the periphery? No matter where I go, am I alone? Ooh, monsoon chimes, heartbroken nights, color-coded memories filtered with gray, familiar scent of a memory from a time I can't seem to recognize. Maybe I'm just a traveler in search of what I already have. And if I look into the mirror, then I don't need to be on the other side. Oh, this soaring heart of mine. Oh, this soaring heart of mine. Ooh, this soaring heart of mine. Oh, this soaring heart of mine. So far away, away from home. 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 So far away, away from home.
Oh, yeah! Priya Darshini here on the Fabulous 413 for Live Music Friday, playing at the Academy of Music at 8 o'clock on Saturday. That was awesome. Thanks, everybody. I don't know if I recognize dulcimer as a standard instrument that gets played in Indian classical music often.
There's an instrument called the santur, which is the one of the earlier forms of the dulcimer. Likely a Persian instrument originally, but you'll find it all throughout the world. But the Indian form of the santur is now become a mainstay in Indian classical music.
Very, very cool. And your start, Priya, was in Indian classical music and then moved through jazz and other forms. I do have a question about your album being classified as New Age. Do you feel like that was kind of a cop-out by the Grammys because they couldn't figure out where else to put it?
I think so. I mean, this conversation about genres always keeps coming up.
Right.
And I think that conversation, it's interesting that we're having it. We should keep having it and then finally just do away with it. But that said, it's hard. I understand that it's hard because, how do you market songs? How do you get people to understand what they're about to listen to? But yes, when this was nominated for New Age, I actually at the time, very honestly, didn't know what that meant. So I had to look it up and then I realized, it's like a catch-all for... it's like it's Indian classical, but we don't know where to put it, so let's put it here. I mean, that's only partially true. The other part of, I think, there's very specific definitions for all these categories, and one of the definitions is also about how it was recorded or the ambient sound in that went into the album. So I think they found it best to put it there.
It's like a mood.
It's a mood.
What is the new age of your mood for this album? Right. That's so funny. Your percussionist, Patrick, over here, is playing two things that definitely look like fans. And we'll post pictures of this on our feed.
I found these brooms in the closet over here, and I was like, they sound pretty good.
You were right, but it's
they're just these, they're Moroccan house brooms, actually. And they sound really beautiful. And... play them on here or on the floor, and
that's so cool.
In fact, that's what was used on the album, actually.
Oh, really?
Most of it was just brooms on the floor. Yeah.
It's awesome when people find new sounds like that. But not to bring up the patriarchy twice in one show, because we're about to, but there is, or at least in previous interviews, you've mentioned that there is this streak of patriarchy in classical Indian music. Did you feel that in the music that you write, in using some of the other genres that you've come to incorporate in your music, that it was a little bit freeing from that? Or do you stay within classical Indian music in order to combat or stand up against that?
Oh, wow. Big, deep question. Well, I would rephrase that question if you don't mind.
Sure.
I don't think there's patriarchy in the Indian classical music. The music is just music. It's beautiful. It's profound. It's expansive. It's infinite. In fact, Indian classical music, to me personally, is one of the most beautiful styles of music, which is why I've studied it for all my life, and I continue to study it. The patriarchy is in how it's practiced, and it's not just in Indian classical music, to be honest. It's exactly the same in every style of music, in every style of the arts, in everything we do. It's everywhere. I mean, we can have those conversations. Again, those are large conversations to have. But I know that there is an awareness, and I know that it can't always be the case, because we're just losing out. If half the population their voices aren't heard, what's going to happen? We're just losing out on lost opportunity for beautiful music, for beautiful thoughts, for the ability for the rest of the world to enjoy and to experience what half the population is feeling. So, yeah, I mean, coming back to your question, it's not just Indian classical music, and and the fact that I'm right here, it also shows that it's possible to get through that, and it's not the end all. So many incredible women, female identified artists that I follow, I look up to, they've been breaking all these boundaries, and it will continue to happen.
Good.
Yeah.
I mean, it has to happen.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, we're going to take a really quick break, and we'll come back and hear more music from Priya Darshini here on the Fabulous 413 on 88.5 NEPM. Welcome back to the Fabulous 413. I'm Khalees Smith, and in studio with me right now, performing on Saturday in Northampton at the Academy of Music at 8 o'clock. We have Priya Darshini alongside Maxi T, Patrick Duke, and Dave Egger. Is this your trio? I know that you had a trio.
Well, I've played in many different iterations, and it's kind of beautiful to also see that this music can go beyond how it was intended to. Mm-hmm. And I've played it like as a trio, as a quartet, as a duo, 5-piece bands, 6-piece bands. Yeah. So right now we're a quartet, and we're going to be playing as a quartet tomorrow.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask you about collaborating with your husband. Is it hard, or like, how do you find that balance when you're doing your projects versus doing his projects and your collaborations? There are looks happening between the two of them right here.
So you want to finish the question? Sorry.
Like how do you find your collaborations working in creating music between, or if there's a difference between when it's like your project or when it's his project that you're primarily working on?
Yeah. It's a great question. It was very sticky in the beginning. And I think it was also sticky because not only was our relationship new, we were just getting to know each other. This was way before we were married. It was also a new musical relationship. And I think as all relationships go in the beginning, you're just learning a language, you're learning how to communicate. And we're communicating as musicians, and then you're also communicating as people, as partners, as friends. So many layers. It took us a while to get that language of communication right. And then, of course, as things always happen, like as egos always get in the way, our egos were in the way. And so it was a beautiful process, actually, to drop our walls, drop our egos, and learn to just love, And I think that's the language that we use with everybody as we're playing. It's the same language that we have to use when we communicate, and empathy and
trust,
trust and dropping walls. So Yeah, it's been an amazing process. I actually love playing music with Max, and and outside of the fact that he's my partner in life, I'm also deeply inspired by him. So yeah, it really works out beautifully. And when we're on tour, we're able to sort of keep it professional. Some people come up to us and say, "We saw you all have a really deep connection on stage, but I had no idea you were married." And I'm like, "That's great because, we're professionals."
Right.
Yeah. What do you think, Max?
Yeah, I think it's probably like most relationships where you have to build a certain level of trust, of care, and of just recognizing that you can let go and somebody has your back. And if they have an opinion, then it's just as valid as yours. And we're also studying Indian classical music. It's a form that's one of the main goals of it, I would say, is to lose one's ego and get to a state of presentness so that you can improvise. And so this philosophical component that we're both attracted to is what also brought us together. And so it would be kind of odd if we didn't practice that in our personal relationship and only focused on it in our musical relationship. That wouldn't be what I think any of us would be going for.
Wonderful.
Yeah.
Well, in the last few minutes that we have, let's hear another song from Priya and her wonderful band. We've got Priya Darshini and Maxi T, Patrick Duke, and Dave Egger, who will be at the Academy of Music on Saturday starting at 8. Opening up for them is local hero Kimaya Diggs. It will be a great time. And thanks again to Priya Darshini for coming on the show.
Thank you.
सावरे काहे मुझसे करो